the way. I like it. Do 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 do. Are we live? I think
We're live. We're live. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Here, should I
We're
cue that?
singing, everybody. Yeah. You want to make it official?
Yeah.
You're gonna get a message.
You got to turn your volume down.
I don't even have volume.
On your phone?
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
You hear us? Are we live?
Yeah. Can you all hear us? Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yeah. He says he hears us.
One thing down. Can you see us?
Yeah.
You can see us and you can hear us?
Oh.
That's a miracle.
It is a miracle. All right. So here we are. It is our first official live stream. I think we did live stuff before, like on Facebook, didn't we?
I think we did.
Yeah, it wasn't.
When we were announcing doing some new things.
Yeah, that wasn't quite the same thing. So what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Geeking Poetic Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Larry Roberts. To my right, as always, is
Megan Guess.
You notice there's only two of us here because where's the big bald guy? Vito is not here. Where is Vito?
Vito's a busy dude.
Yeah, Vito he just ain't around these days, unfortunately. We very much miss Vito.
Very much.
It's not quite the same without it being, the Three Stooges and everything. But he's just got so many other things that he's been doing lately. It's hard to even get him to keep in regular contact with us half the time and stuff because he's just kind of busy, overwhelmed. So we've been trying to figure out how to rework things for the channel because we've had people say to us, and we're very aware of it ourselves, that we haven't been putting out a whole lot.
Where'd we go? We just disappeared on everybody.
Right. We haven't been putting out a whole lot of stuff lately, and we're kind of bummed about that. I mean, we've been really busy too.
We have. It's been a crazy year.
Yeah, especially you. You definitely have gotten very busy lately.
Maybe a little bit.
Just
a lot of it, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of tough, but it's even tougher for Vito because he's kind of farther away.
Yeah, there's like a 2-hour difference between me and Vito.
Right.
And you're like smack in the middle.
I'm in the middle,
so
right.
It's not easy to get all three of us getting together.
And it's a little easier for you to get over here than it is for him to get down because Vito has to go all the way through
the city and
right.
It's not a fun drive.
Exactly. So, and just with as busy as he is and everything, we've just decided when Vito can be here and can be involved in stuff, we very much welcome it. But because he can't, so, Meg and I don't want to give it up. So we're going to keep doing stuff. And, we may as well talk about it because we got
new ways to keep it interesting.
We do have new ways to keep it interesting. Obviously, first and foremost, what you're seeing here now is this whole live stream thing. Obviously, this is kind of like a testing the waters.
Yeah, we'll see how this goes.
Yeah, we're gonna.
It's a train wreck. It is what it is. It's about right.
I think even when we're not trying to be a train wreck, we're still a little bit of a train wreck sometimes. So I mean,
the harder we try, the worse it is.
Yeah, that's just sort of the way it is with Geeking Poetic. But we might, if people like this, and we know there's only going to be a handful of people, tuning in for this live thing and stuff. I know it's going to take a while to build it up and find the right timing and all that stuff. But we just thought, man, let's do it. We had this opportunity. Plus, honestly, for me, weekends is usually terrible because I'm usually gigging. And
it's a miracle you even have the day off.
Right. Well, and it's only because of the holiday weekend and stuff. I gigged on Wednesday. And then coming up in December, I think every weekend I have stuff going on. And then the holidays again. So we said, let's take advantage of this one weekend that we have a little bit of time and let's try doing this. So if people like this, we're going to keep doing this more, I think, right? If you want to.
Yes, I think this is a much better option for us, editing wise and everything like that. We just get it out there, talk to you guys one-on-one. We really like the interaction, the chat here. Oh, Triple T Arms is here. Hi.
Yeah.
Is that how you say that? That's how we've been saying it all these years.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I agree. He makes a comment about I miss the goofy parodies. Won't
Yeah.
work without Vito. Oh, we totally agree. We miss the
Absolutely.
parodies too. We had so many. We actually have at least one parody that we filmed back in the summer that involved us going out to the beach.
Well, we
and-
filmed part of it.
well, we filmed
And it's pretty silly, guys.
it's pretty funny.
It's over the top extra.
It's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah. Once we get a hold of Vito, we'll definitely finish it and get that put out.
Yeah, we might save it, put it out like closer to the spring, summer. It might be a good way to, I think Vito will still want to do stuff like that with us.
He's just got to clear his schedule out a little bit.
Yeah,
He'll be back.
it's going to be a little bit fewer and further between.
Yeah.
But that kind of leads us into something else. So with that, another thing that happens a lot of times is, I mean, anybody that watches or listens to the channel knows that what we do, we're not always on the exact same page, never in a bad way, but we, like say, for example, like I love Star Wars. Meg likes Star Wars. Vito doesn't care about Star Wars, so on and so forth. There's a lot of things like that. So when we propose things, sometimes, at least one of us is like, I'm not real crazy about that. And I think we'll talk a little bit more about that because I think we actually got a question along those lines. But so what this is also going to enable us to do is finally touch on some of these topics that like you and I have always wanted to touch on, but Vito was like, yeah, it's not really my bag.
Mm-hmm.
But we know other people who it very much is their
Mm-hmm.
bag. Exactly. And so we're going to finally start having special guests on our show. Obviously, we're going to start with, people we know, close friends and stuff like that. And then depending on how that goes, we might branch out more and get other kinds of special guests. I don't want to name any names. We had a while back a couple of really, really cool potential special guests, which might still happen if we wanted to, that were proposed to us through friends of friends that said, hey, I talked to so-and-so and I could get this person on your show and everything. And we're talking some, really cool name people, not just us goofballs, and the reason we didn't jump on it is because honestly, we said, as awesome as it would be, we're not ready for it yet.
Right.
We're still a building channel, even though we've been around for 3 years. I mean, so much. I mean, this is
in the hat for these kind of things.
Right. I mean, this is our first live stream, for crying out loud, and it's been 3 years, so we're still building it up. We're still working on it, but we do have some potential like cool special guests down the line. We also very much want to get like some special guests, people from other podcasts. We know people we're part of the Prescribed Films podcast network, and we've had guys like Jason Bollinger like appear, very briefly and stuff and help us.
I forgot about that. We did have him on there, didn't we?
Yeah, we had him very briefly. He helped us out before when we were testing out the pod track and everything. So we'd love to do more of that, and I know other people on the podcast network that we would like to get involved. We'll announce, because it's going to be coming out this coming week, is our first guest is, if you know me and Vito and our band November's Doom, won't be a stranger to you. Our first guest that we're going to have, it's already in the can, so to speak. That's not a dirty reference, so get your mind out of the gutter, everybody.
Everybody be good.
The first one we've got filmed, done, edited, in the can, and will be coming out this week, is we are having my great buddy Gary Naples, drummer for November's Doom. He's also drums in Without Waves, and he's drummers
like 16 other bands,
and Hate Monger, and like a
literally
bazillion
16
bands.
other bands.
But amazingly, he made time to get over here one night and record with us, because one of those topics we were enthusiastic about, that Vito was a little about, was Quentin Tarantino. We're Quentin Tarantino fans, and we've never talked about him. I mean, he's got mentioned here and there on other episodes, but we really wanted to delve into Tarantino stuff. And Gary is a big Tarantino fan. So we were just like, man, then let's just have Gary come over and
it,
do
it
it.
was a lot of fun to record.
It
It
was.
was a lot of fun. I'm anxious for that one to come out.
Yeah, and it's a different
long one.
dynamic. Gary is funny because like when he talks, he has good things to say, but he's a little bit like you, where he's just sort of like, yeah, listening. And then I just, as usual, like you hear now, I just run rampant with my mouth and I talk and talk and talk and talk, and I you know, so I'm all for you guys shutting me the hell up, you know, because I talk too much. I know.
I don't mind you talking. I don't know if they do, but I don't.
Oh, I'm sure they get annoyed with it, but you know, I got to keep it rolling, you know. Because you're the queen of dialogue in your head. Like Meg's got all sorts of stuff she's thinking about saying.
He's always like, "What are you thinking?"
But she's sitting there with just this look on her face, and I'm like, "What are you thinking about?" And it's like you can tell she's got this whole dialogue going on, but it's not coming out here into the microphone. And I'm like, "Spit it out, say it." And then when she does, it's great. You know, it's awesome. You know, so
yeah,
we're still working on it.
I can't deny any of that.
You've come a long way. You've come a long way since when we started. Because the whole thing, I don't know if people even realize that the original plan was that
I got bamboozled. They totally set me up.
Yeah, you really weren't even planning on being on camera that much less on
Nope.
microphone. You were going to be like the
behind the scenes, make it all work,
Right.
make it happen. You're like, you know what? Get on camera. I'm like, what? I don't know. That's not how this is supposed to work. And
Yeah.
then I got stuck here.
Yeah, yeah. But I think you've come a long way, and I think it's great. You
I'm
know,
getting there.
And right, so now we're getting these new guests in. We will be putting out the Tarantino episode one day this week. I don't know the exact day yet. I'll make an announcement soon, probably middle of the week, like usual. We usually put new stuff out around Wednesdays. So that's what we're shooting for and everything. We already have started talking to some other friends about guesting on some stuff. And it's going to be cool because I'm excited because some of the things we're going to talk about.
He had some great topic ideas.
Yeah. And there's stuff we haven't covered already. I mean, you know, leave it up to us. We'll talk about Harrison Ford, you know, Indiana Jones and Han Solo and Schwarzenegger and
all day long.
We've done a ton of that.
Forever.
And we have a tendency to kind of always go back to that. So now with some of these new guests, we're branching out.
Horizons.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm excited.
Talking more about comedies and stuff like that. Yeah, which is gonna be fun. And then another thing that I just want to announce before we start getting into some other stuff is the fact that, you know, we've been talking, hinting, threatening that for ages that we're going to get more into music. I mean, it's silly that we're all such music fans and involved in music in various ways and stuff. And we go to concerts all the time and we're always talking about music, but we never cover music. And the original plan, being honest with everybody, was that we were going to start a separate channel. Ironically, I'll just throw this out there because it's useless now. We came up with this, 2 years ago?
Something like that. Yeah, we've been
toying
with
something like 2 years ago. And we were going to call it Galaxy of Sound. And we'd been kind of hemming and hawing about doing it because it's doing one channel is hard. Doing a whole separate channel was daunting. Every time we started to work on it, some setback would happen, not least of which some of the artists we chose to talk about, we ended up changing our mind.
Twice. It happened to us twice.
I know.
Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
We're like setting up all these artists to
we end up like, we're not going to talk about them now. That guy's a jerk or whatever. But then the final nail in the coffin was we come to find out that just recently Disney Channel, of course, freaking Disney, just launched a new program on the Disney Channel called Disney's Galaxy of Sounds. They stole my title. But they didn't know. But anyway, so
you had a whole logo. Just
we had everything. We had everything ready to go with that. Yeah, we've filmed some stuff that just hasn't been put out yet. But so what we ultimately decided to do is we just said, look, when we launched Geeking Poetic, we said right from the first teaser thing we put out that we were going to talk about music, and we just never have. So I think we're going to start incorporating that more into this. And no, I mean, and so people understand, if they think like with people like Vito and I and even some of your tastes, like, oh, it's going to be all heavy metal. Not even close, actually. I mean,
you are all over the place.
there will be some stuff about heavy rock and metal and stuff, but there's going to be a lot of talk about country and, classic rock and pop and blues. I've been on a big jazz kick lately. I mean, and I have a huge record collection. I've got, you're collecting records and stuff too.
You guys got me into collecting records.
Yeah, you've got quite a little collection going on, and it's pretty eclectic as well. So we're going to start talking more about that. And then the other cool thing about that is because of my connection with the music business and everything is there's so many prospective guests and people that we can include on that of various levels and everything. So I think it's going to be fun. And I'm really looking forward to how we're going to diversify the channel a little bit more.
Make it happen.
Make it so. Right?
Yes.
Exactly.
Make it so.
How's it going in the chat there?
We got quite a few people in here. What do we have? Oh, we're up to 10. Hi, guys.
Hi, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's really awesome. We thought we'd get like 2.
Yeah.
We were first out.
I was like, it's going to be your mom and my mom, and that's it.
Well, they are both here.
Well, that's great. Hi, moms. It's good to see you.
As is my dad and my brother.
Yep.
Triple T Arms.
Yep. There's a bunch.
Made a great comment, and Joe Juarez just joined us. Hi, Joe.
Oh, hey.
I went to high school with Joe.
Awesome.
So
that's cool. Yeah. No, I mean, that's great. The more, the merrier. And if you have any of you guys, if you have any, questions, especially if it's like about geeky stuff or anything, we're going to talk a little bit here about things that we've been into because, God, there's so much to get caught up on. We're so far behind. There's like movies, there's TV shows. First and foremost, let's talk about it because I know it's fresh on our minds. We want to talk about what?
He said he remembered me. Of course I remembered you.
Oh, well, here we go.
Yeah, I was going to say we've had some questions about our teasers that we've done.
Yeah, and there's a lot of talk about the teasers. So
everybody loves our teasers. I love our teasers.
Yeah, I do too.
They were so fun.
The thing about the teasers is, I mean, I think a lot of people love the teasers for obvious reasons, mainly because we make ourselves look like total jerks, which is the idea,
fun, right? It's supposed to be over the top, ridiculous.
Oh, it's meant to be bad. Yeah, intentionally bad stuff. I would like to believe we could actually make it better if we wanted to.
I would need acting lessons.
Well, I mean, that
goes
without saying. But I mean, even sometimes some of like the special effects and things we put in there, like we know they look super cheesy bad, but it makes us laugh. So we're like, yeah, let's leave it. The thing about the teasers is they by far take the most work out of anything we do.
They are so time consuming. Like it takes multiple nights, like 6 hours
on average
to get a 10-minute teaser.
I would say, right. I would correct me if I'm wrong because I'm just putting this together in my head now. I would say on average from when we first talk about it and come up with the whole concept of a teaser, and from that to when we actually get together, we start filming it. There's also all sorts of other like side stuff. Like if we
props,
right. If we need props and Meg will be like, okay, I'm going to go run to Dollar Tree or something like that and pick up this and that. And Vito goes and picks up things, to when we film, to then when we edit, and then we have to make the thumbnail, because even the little thumbnail, the little pictures we make for each specific video, when you guys click on it, like you see on YouTube or when we post it in the chats and stuff.
Those are time consuming.
Yeah, even the thumbnails, sometimes they take hours to make.
Oh my gosh. When I first started doing those, I was like, this should not take me days to do a thumbnail. Yeah. It was so time consuming, but I had no idea what I was doing. Well, we're just kind of winging this whole thing. So.
I was just going to say, I mean, I know you made a comment to me the other day about, you said something offhand about like, oh, well, I was like a complete novice at all this stuff. And I said, Meg, we all were, we still are. I mean, everything we've been doing, I know you thought in some ways, maybe like.
So you guys know more about the equipment, the microphone.
A little bit. Yeah, sure. A little bit.
What I did, I knew nothing.
A little bit, but not that much more than what you knew. And you knew some stuff from your broadcast history and everything, working with with Jim and them on the radio show and everything. So you understood some of that. I really didn't know that much more. I mean, I know how to plug in a microphone. I know how to tweak an EQ, but I didn't know how all this shit worked. I mean, this was all new, and especially from a video standpoint. You ask me about guitar stuff, I mean, I'll talk about that all day long. But when it comes to this, we're still, I mean, look at when we just set this up.
We've been working on this for hours, guys.
Just trying to get
trying to get this going.
Yeah, it took a couple hours to get this working. And then we tested it, what was that, a couple weeks ago and everything, when we were trying to figure it out as well.
We got this cool new camera.
We did.
Pretty nice.
Yeah, I think it looks pretty good. What do you guys think? I know it's not quite as sharp as, like, say, our normal video stuff that we do, but that's like, that's a big difference in everything, in not only the quality of that camera, but just like all the post-production that goes into making it look that good. I'm pretty happy for this, just for live streaming purposes.
I look very pale still.
Yeah, well, that's not the gear's fault. That's our fault, because we don't know what we're doing. We don't know what we're doing with.
All right.
Yeah.
Your mom says it's very good picture, so.
Oh, good.
We'll go with that.
Luke says, I think you two are in my basement. What would give you that idea, Luke? Yeah. Okay.
It does kind of look like your basement, doesn't it?
A little bit, but it's redder.
It's redder.
Yeah. So anyway, the long story short, too late, is that it takes
days.
It takes weeks to do a teaser.
And
then when we do stuff where we go out, like, on location, like when we did, like, the Indiana Jones one, and we did the Fugitive one,
and our new one, that's
the new one you guys haven't seen yet, because there was a bunch of outdoor location stuff we did at the beach. Hint, hint, hint. There was it's so ridiculous. I can't wait till people see that one. Yeah, I mean, it takes weeks, and that's why we can only do so many of those so often. But
I mentioned Vito has all the equipment.
Vito has
edit that together like they come out, which makes them, like Triple T Arm says, they're good, bad. Don't change anything.
We don't want to change it, because we want to make it. I mean, we want people to enjoy it, but we need to enjoy it. Mm-hmm. And if being bad and stupid is the way we enjoy it, then that's just the way it's going to be, because I go back and I watch our teasers every now and then.
Well, speaking of that, I think Alex asked, what was our favorite teaser to film?
Oh, yeah. Let's see.
So many of them.
Favorite one to film? Oh, man. I mean, so many of them were fun. Gosh. There's certain ones that stand out. Man, when you were dressed up in that goddamn Chuck Norris costume.
I remember, I don't think we put out the teaser or the bloopers for that, but I came out and I did that voice. You two lost it. They were both on the floor crying.
Well, yeah.
Because my voice was so great. That really hurt my voice.
Yeah.
You're like, stop doing that, Megan.
Yeah, because you were losing your voice. Because we had to do it so many times, because Vito and I could not stay in character, trying to be all scared of you and everything. And you're like, you boys, and oh my God. And you with that beard on just looked so fucking ridiculous. But it was great. That's the idea.
Exactly.
Yeah, let me ask you folks a question. So we have, obviously, so many outtakes. We have so much outtake stuff of things going wrong, of us just laughing. How many outtakes do we have of you throwing that chocolate pudding
on you for the Jurassic Park one?
In the Jurassic Park when
I kept missing. He was like, this is going so badly, so wrong.
If any of you saw our Jurassic Park ones, there was the one where I get hit in the face with the dinosaur poop, which was obviously actually just like chocolate pudding and everything. But the problem was, it's one of those things where it's like you got to get it right the first time, Megan. Like, you got to.
You can't go wash your hair every time,
right? Because I mean, like, how am I gonna make it not look like I already got hit with this? And it took you what?
4 times.
4 tries. I was like, you got it. That's why if you watch the video,
we ended up just smushing it down his face because I couldn't hit him.
The video ended up, we had to crop it in so closely to my face, because if it was zoomed out, you would have seen all the chocolate shit all over me from every time she threw it at me and missed. I was just covered in chocolate.
My gosh, I was crying.
Yeah.
We were all crying. That was amazing. Yeah, we got footage of that. I think I have it edited together already in a blooper reel.
You have some of it.
I have some of it, yeah.
So do you guys want us to put that out? I mean, we've even thought about putting some of that out as just for like patrons and stuff. But I mean, we might just go ahead and put it out on
if you guys say you
YouTube.
want it, I'll put it out.
Yeah, maybe we'll put some of it out, and then other stuff we'll save for patrons and stuff, like some of the longer, because not everybody wants to sit through all that stuff. So
I know, it's pretty funny.
It is pretty funny. But yeah, so those are a couple. I mean, I still really loved when we made, because that was one of our first ones, when we made the Indiana Jones one.
That was a lot of fun.
And the Fugitive one.
Yeah, those are all on location.
The location ones were.
We went out to Deep River Park by me.
Yeah.
Yes to bloopers, my mom says.
Right.
And then we did the Fugitive over by Vito.
Right.
In a forest preserve by him.
Right, out in Niles. Yeah. Yeah, that was literally spanned
That was
states.
So cold. We were so cold in that water.
Oh, the Fugitive one. Oh, man. Yeah, because that was freezing. Why was it so cold? Was it like in the fall that we did that?
It had to be. Yeah, it was just be turning cold.
Yeah, it might have been. So
all right, we got 3 bloopers.
Yeah. we'll put it out there soon. We may as well, We've got plenty of it. It's just a matter of sorting through it all.
Yeah. The Ghostbusters one we did recently, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was one of the last ones we did.
It was.
That was a lot of fun.
We got a lot of good responses to that one too. Yeah,
we put a little bit of work into it, and I think it also showed that we're just getting better, and Vito is getting better at editing and stuff. Mm-hmm. And yeah, Ghostbusters was a lot of fun. There's good outtakes from that one as well, actually. So we'll put that stuff out there.
The Mars one we did with the aliens. We're in the middle of the dark storm.
Oh, are you talking about me with the Simon?
Yeah.
Says, oh yeah, that was a favorite one.
I mean, Vito arguing back and forth in the kitchen.
Wasn't that the one when you banged into the wall in the dark?
Yeah.
You banged into that wall hard.
I hit that really hard. I had to sell it.
Well, and then you threw that board at me, and I had to sell it, and it wasn't hard to sell because
I actually hit you.
You fucking hit me with that goddamn 2x4. That thing bounced off the stair and hit me like right in the leg or the knee or whatever, and you hear me like, ah. Yeah.
Because it really hurt.
Yeah. Don't let her fool you. She very much enjoys when accidents happen and I get hurt.
At the end of it, when I knocked the chips out of your hand.
Oh, yeah.
Vito's hand.
Yeah. The Carrie one was a lot of fun, dumping the bananas on your head. Mm-hmm.
That was awful.
Yeah, your reaction was legit.
It was legit. I was not happy.
Go back and watch that one, folks, when we did the Carrie spoof. And we did the slow-mo and everything. Like the look on your face that you had was super real.
The big chunks kept hitting me.
Oh, you had so much banana in your hair.
Yeah, I went and took a shower in Vito, and it still wasn't coming out. Just
no,
so you know,
you had. I think it was
sucks.
like a couple days later. I saw you, and I was like, "Do you still have banana in your hair?" And you did.
Yeah.
And you showered.
Yeah, many times.
So
still have banana.
Don't use banana in your hair, folks, because it won't come out for any. You might think that the nutrients are good for it. Just no.
No, just don't do it. Just say no.
Well, you got banana, and I got that fucking chocolate pudding that was all over me.
And Vito got pickle juice.
Oh,
the Independence Days one. Those were a lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
Too.
Oh, those were fun. Yeah, they're all fun. I don't think we've had any. You as the fucking Joker. Oh my god,
that was a lot of fun. You
really got
blowing that powder all over your face.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
Okay, see, this is why
that
she
was
likes
one
doing.
Take.
Yeah, that was one take.
So, see, he's fine. He just wants a bellyache about it.
Okay. All right. Sure. Anyway, so what were some of the other questions that we had?
Somebody asked about a video game.
Oh, we did. We had somebody that asked us about Empyrean Galactic Survival. Mm-hmm. That's a PC game that came out about 5-6 years ago, I think. Honestly, I'm not like Mr. PC game.
Nope, that's
person.
All Vito.
That's Vito. Vito is the one that loves the PC games. I was looking it up and everything because I've heard of it. I'm aware of it, but I just never played it. It sounds really, fun.
Mhm.
That's another thing, and that kind of leads us into another thing and something that I know Vito is interested in doing is we have talked about doing some more like gameplay video stuff
Mhm.
where so we did that a few years ago for my birthday. I was like, I want us to make a video of us at Vito's house and we played Super Nintendo.
Yeah, and I kicked your ass at Mario Kart. That was awesome.
Fucking Mario Kart.
Like, where are you going, Larry? He's like, goes off the edge.
God, I hate Mario Kart.
I loved it. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah. It was fun for you guys. It wasn't for me.
A lot of bloopers in that one. Too.
Oh man, there was a lot of bloopers in that one. But yeah, there was a lot of me just cursing and throwing controllers around because I'm so bad at video games, man. I enjoy them, but I'm really bad at them.
I'm not much better, so.
You're much better than I am.
Yes, I am. Yes, I
am. So we've talked about doing more like stuff like that. So I mean, I would definitely love suggestions for games. And what? What's
Life from Galloping Ghost. We have yet to make it there. You have been asking to do that for your birthday for how many years?
I have never been as much of a fan as I am of vintage video games, arcade games, and pinball. I love pinball. I have never been to Galloping Ghost Arcade up in Berwyn, I believe it's in. It's not even that far. Man, I have wanted to go to Galloping Ghost so badly, but I don't want to go by myself. You know, that's kind of a bummer.
We should get a whole group together and let's go.
I've talked about that, yeah, and I would love to go there and just like again, film a little bit of us like having fun there and everything, and yeah, because for those that don't know, if there's anybody in the area that doesn't know about it, it's a place called Galloping Ghost, Berwyn, Illinois, up near Brookfield Zoo. And that place, you pay, I think it's only like $20, maybe a little more now. But you only pay like $20 or something, and you can play all day. Like you don't have to put coins into the individual machines. You pay one fee, you come in, you play. And I mean, they have everything, hundreds of arcade games, pinball machines. They even have rooms where they have like PS5s, PS4s, and Xboxes set up with like cool like chairs, and people can play just console games and stuff. So much fun. I've watched tons of videos. I know people that have gone to it, but I've never been. So I don't think you've ever been, right?
I've never been. Yeah. No, we need to go.
Yeah. So how's it going in there? Yeah, Brookfield.
Pinball down the street.
Yeah.
And
yeah, because it's gotten so big. I mean, I don't think they can even fit everything in there. I mean, I don't know how, because I've seen the place. Again, I've never been in there.
Yeah. It's like one after the other, right?
Right, yeah. I think they keep expanding, don't they? Ogden, close to East Avenue, $15. Oh, it's only $15 for a wristband. Damn, that's a great deal. That's something
even better.
Yeah, you can just have fun with that all day. Yeah, so we're gonna make that happen. If
making it happen.
By hook or crook, we're doing it.
We'll have to let everybody know. Meet up there.
Right. So, what else do we want? Oh yeah, we were going to talk a little bit about stuff we've been into. I'd love to know if any of you guys have watched it yet. They just recently came out with Hawkeye, Marvel's Hawkeye on Disney.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched the first episode. Did you watch both?
I made it through the first episode.
Okay,
the first one,
so you didn't see the second one either?
No.
Yeah, I haven't watched the second one yet either. What did you think of it?
I am very interested to see how this goes.
Yeah, it's different. It's a little different.
I mean, not as different as WandaVision.
Right, but I mean,
I like how they kind of backed it up to show how she got into archery.
Yeah, she meaning the young girl Kate Bishop and everything. Yes. Yeah. So if you haven't, we're trying not to be spoilery. I mean, anybody knows the premise of this is that there's a young college age girl named Kate Bishop that idolizes Hawkeye for reasons we won't get into, and finds herself kind of, because she's very nosy and just has a nose for trouble, finds herself getting tangled up with some underworld criminal stuff, and that are now after her. And Hawkeye ends up getting
his hands on her.
Yeah, well, I don't think Hawkeye is going to be involved in her in that way. But what do you mean, hands on her?
Not like that.
Well, I just the way you said it. It was like
wow.
I know some women out there that would love for Hawkeye to get his hands on them. So
I just meant literally he gets at the end and gets his hands on her.
oh, but you when he almost beats her ass, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know if we were gonna let that information out.
Well, it's in the commercials.
Oh, okay.
He's like, I'm not anybody's hero.
Oh, okay.
So
I don't remember the commercials for it.
Dirty man.
I'm just saying because the way you said it, like just hands on him. I'm like, oh, okay, that's your thing, not my thing. But anyway, yeah. So he gets wrapped up in it. I'm sure he's again not going to be thrilled about that because, yeah, he's such like an anti. He doesn't want to be a hero. Yeah, he's really
very
struggling
uncomfortable with it.
Yeah, and they get into that. I mean, without details, they get just in this first episode, they get into how he's just like, it's like he wants to put all of that behind him. Like he doesn't want to be acknowledged even for being an Avenger and all that stuff. Adult content.
It wouldn't be us if it didn't get a little raunchy at some point.
Yeah.
You can't help it. It just happens.
It's Megan's dirty mind.
You all saw he started it. I was being innocent.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, you girls and you're, lusting after all these Avengers and
Hawkeye.
Stuff. What if it was Chris Pine?
Then I would have meant it like that.
Yeah, see, you're talking about getting your hands on old Captain Kirk. That's a whole different story, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. See, there
Carl
you go.
Urban, he smelled so good.
Carl Urban, yeah. Just the whole modern cast of Star Trek.
Yeah, I'll take them all. I'm good.
Oh,
okay,
boy.
Anyway, we're done. Hawkeye.
Anyway.
This is why it takes forever to do anything.
So Hawkeye, yeah, I'm really interested. I know there is at least one more episode, right? That's out.
Yeah, I think they came out 2 in one day.
Okay. Oh, that's how they did it? Okay. So, yeah, I haven't watched a second episode yet, but it did definitely leave me on the edge of my seat.
Yeah. What's he going to do to her?
I definitely think this one is probably out of all of them except maybe Loki. I feel like this one right off the bat is like hooking me in. You know what I mean? Like Wanda was yeah, that one I was sort of like, I liked Winter Soldier. I mean, because it's my favorite characters and stuff. But that one, even remember after the first episode, I was like, I'm not sure where they're going with this. Like I was a little bit iffy. Wanda definitely was iffy. Loki was cool, was intriguing.
Yes.
And I feel like this one is like got me really intrigued. This almost feels like it's going to be more like not James Bond, but like one of those actiony, Mission Impossible-y kind of.
Oh yeah, okay, I can buy that.
More, yeah. So if you're not like super into the costume superhero-y things, because Hawkeye doesn't really have superpowers per se.
Right.
Everything. If you want something more, just it's like a good underworld, fighting, organized crime, action-y kind of shoot 'em up, with arrows, movie or program. This is good for that. At least it seems like it is. We'll see where it goes.
Well, speaking of Marvel, something that somebody did tell us we should be talking about, and we haven't yet, is What If.
Oh, that's right. Angie was asking us about what we thought about What If.
Yeah.
A couple people were saying they were bummed we didn't do a full retrospective about it like we did with the other series. Right. That was just, again, because we got so busy. Because we got so busy and we didn't, it was, even like watching that together, it just didn't really work out.
Yeah.
What If? Yeah, I ended up loving What If.
Because that's one of your favorite comic books, right?
It is, yeah. What If was one of the first comic books I got back in the 70s when I was a kid. And the whole premise of What If is that they take stories that happened in the Marvel universe and then they kind of flip it. Like if this happened in an alternate universe and it was a little bit different, like in the one
thing changed.
One little, it talks about how like small changes can make such a big
impact.
Yeah, exactly. Like how in the one when they talked about like Guardians of the Galaxy, that instead of picking up Peter Quill, they ended up getting T'Challa. Mm-hmm. And what if Black Panther ultimately became one of the Guardians? That was great.
This reminds me. I saw a meme today. I saved it. I'm gonna have to put it in the group later.
Oh yeah. Okay.
It's great.
Okay. So I loved What If. I thought it was great. I thought it was really interesting the way they tied everything together at the end of the series, where they made it sort of like the What If version of like Endgame in a sense, because all the heroes came together. And
Yeah, that was cool. Because you were freaking out some about that. Because like they've never like intertwined everything together and come into
no,
one story.
in the comic book, What If was always, each issue was always its own autonomous story. It never tied into anything else. So the fact that they actually tied in all, because when you were watching the series, they did it that way. Each story was its own individual, and they were all basically supposed to have happened in completely different alternate universes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then because of Doctor Strange and the Watcher and stuff they were able to do, they brought it all together for a purpose. Again, Endgame, Infinity War style.
Yeah.
Very different outcome. And I thought it was cool that they left it on like a cliffhanger too.
Yeah, they can still build on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was your favorite episode of that?
Oh man. Shit, I'm trying to remember. I really liked the one with T'Challa.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was great. Damn. They were all good to varying degrees.
Well, I know one you didn't care for.
Which one?
Zombies.
Oh, yeah, I didn't care for the zombie thing so much, but then that tied in with the ending thing, the way they tied that in, and I sort of
It was okay.
Forgave it, but it was probably the least. I'm not a zombie fan. Everybody's so infatuated with zombies for the last however many 10 years. Everything is zombie, 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 zombie. I like old zombie, Night of the Living Dead was a cool movie and some things like that, but I don't need zombies to like infiltrate everything. It's like now you can go and it's like Archie and the gang with zombies. It's like, come on, man. Like zombies aren't that interesting. Like do something else. So, but yeah, that was probably my least. But I liked all of them. I liked all of them.
But the zombies.
All of them, but the zombies the least. What about you? What was your favorite?
I'm kind of torn between the Captain America and Doctor Strange.
Oh, the Doctor Strange one. Yeah, that was heartbreaking.
Yeah.
That was the other thing. These were all most of them. There was a couple. The Thor. Oh, that was the one that was kind of. Yeah, the Thor one was a little.
He's silly no matter what.
I know, but they it's like, okay, but they make him so silly. And this was really silly.
Yeah,
it did have some funny parts to it, though. But the Thor thing was kind of eh. But again, even the stuff I didn't like in What If, certain episodes, certain parts, the way they tied it all together at the end, I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, that made that series really enjoyable. So
your mom's saying on here that they got a card game, Cards Against Marvel, like Cards Against Humanity.
Right.
It's supposed to get pretty raunchy.
Oh dear. Oh no.
We're gonna have to get us some of those.
I know a certain group of girls that are gonna wanna, because you and Jess and Chaz and Balisha and all of you guys are gonna, because
we're getting those. Christmas, anybody?
Yeah, they're going to be excited to get raunchy talking about Loki and Thor and
oh gosh, yeah,
and all those. Oh boy, I may have to go out that night and do fine. I'll go play
where's
pinball.
Larry? I don't know. He disappeared.
Yeah, I may have to
make
myself scarce. Yeah. So, what else did we want to talk about?
I think. Well, I think we kind of touched on it. Topics that one of us wants to cover, but the other one doesn't. But we talked about that because we're gonna have our guest stars on.
Javier Torres asked us, he said, do you guys believe that the What If Doctor Strange will be tied into the new Spider-Man? There are people out there starting conspiracy with it. I have heard through various sources, and, again, who knows, man, whether it's going to be legit or not, because sometimes it turns out, sometimes it doesn't. But I'm
very hesitant after WandaVision to do anything like
well,
this.
that was all of us getting too carried away with it, I think. But I've heard through various sources that yes, it's not a coincidence that What If comes out when it did.
Spider-Man.
Well, What If being a multiverse centric story thing, and then we know that Spider-Man is dealing with. We already know that from the teasers and everything, the trailers, and we know that Doctor Strange's movie is called Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. So I mean, there's so much pointing to that. I do think that there's going to be some things we saw in What If that we will get, even if it's to some small degree, that we will see touches of in the actual live action MCU. I know I've heard that they're talking about having Captain Peggy Carter, the Captain America version of Peggy, that we might see
I think it'll
her.
bleed through some.
I think it will some. I don't know if it's going to be that big of a deal, but they'll incorporate it somehow. Why wouldn't they? Why shouldn't they?
Right.
I mean, they got
the whole
the actual
multiverse thing. It's the whole point of it, right?
They own all of it. They got the actual actors and actresses to portray
Voice 'em,
themselves.
right.
Most of them, anyway. A few of them obviously didn't, but the majority of them voiced themselves in What If. Yeah, honestly, I know a lot of you didn't watch What If because you went, I'm not into the animated stuff. I like that.
It was really good.
I totally feel you. Yeah, I totally get it because there's a lot of animated Marvel stuff that's out there that I just don't watch. I don't bother with because it's kind of kiddie. And What If is not kiddie, not at all. It's not a kiddie thing. I mean, it's okay for kids to watch it, I guess, but it's definitely geared towards the adults. So, especially with some of the violence and various things that happen in it gets pretty grim. But in any case, yeah, Javier, to answer your question, I do believe there's going to be some tie-in, but I think some of the stuff people are saying, like, I think I'm like, yeah, that's wishful thinking. I don't think it's
WandaVisioning it.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to get that tightly tied into What If. I think there's just little hints of things. I'd just be excited if they just do the Captain Carter thing. If we just get to see her at some point, like that would be pretty neat. So, anyway, I'm sorry, you were saying something about with the guests and stuff like that.
Oh, just that the topics that we haven't been able to cover because one of us wasn't game for it, we now will be able to because we're going to find guests that want to talk about it.
Right.
And like I said, they're already giving us great new topic ideas. It's kind of refreshing the whole Geeking Poetic thing we got going on.
Well, and the funny thing is, I mean, we did a couple of movie reviews, but oddly enough, for a geeky channel like this, we've never done, we never released a Star Wars retrospective. Like, we never did a top 5 favorite Star Wars movies or favorite Star Wars characters or any of that kind of stuff, or just talking about the original trilogy, anything. We tried. And it just,
it felt it wasn't right. So we didn't release it. We have a lot of stuff like that. We filmed it, didn't feel right. So we didn't release it.
Yeah, there's a lot of unreleased stuff that we have. And there's some stuff that we're still talking about. We have entire episodes of, letting this out of the bag, we have entire episodes of our Trekking Poetic.
Yeah, never been released.
That we never put out, because if some of you might remember, we were doing the original series going episode by episode. And we have like 3 or 4 from where we left off that we filmed and we never put it out. And it just was, we were getting really busy and sidetracked with other projects we wanted to do. And doing every episode of the original series of Star Trek was it was time consuming. And again, being honest with you, Vito,
not all of us was into it.
Vito was not really too into it. And even you, to a degree, was kind of like, into it. So we just kind of decided, like, we'll focus on something else. Yeah. But I think I might still put those episodes out because we've had people like requesting that we continue that.
They're starting to catch on. People are finding them out there. So
right. And
get them out.
Another thing that caught on really big with a lot of you out there, and it just again got discontinued, was because Vito started doing his Outer Limits show, and a lot of people loved the Outer Limits thing. But again, Vito's just so busy. He just doesn't have the time to put in the time to research and everything. I love the Outer Limits, and Meg's kind of interested in it, and we know other people, so we may continue on.
There may or may not be an episode that recorded somewhere already.
Yeah, we gave that a shot. Yeah, well, yes, I know. Again, the technical problems that come up with that. So we may bring back the Outer Limits thing because we've had people requesting that. So again, it's just a matter of time. And what are you laughing at?
Carrie Ann, who will be your guest host and when?
Well, we've got, like I said, we announced earlier that Gary is going to be on the episode coming out this month. In the month of December, we believe our guest host, we haven't done it yet. So as long as everything
we talked
goes,
to him about it yesterday. So
but we might have our buddy Matt Valukas come out and do an episode, but we're not going to say when. We're not going to say what the topic is. We got to wait on that because we have to
make sure it doesn't change.
Right. And we also, got a, a little build up and everything. But yeah, we will be doing another top 5 for December. We're going to get back into doing those regularly because the top 5 is kind of like the core of the show when you really think about it.
Started it all anyway.
Right.
Any topics you guys want to hear that we haven't covered before? That would be great.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of people love Outer Limits. We're getting comments on that. I mean, it's such an interesting show that was so far ahead of its time. And our Outer Limits videos have gotten like thousands of hits. Like people love the thing that Vito was doing. So it's a real bummer that he's not able to keep doing it. I mean, I'd love to still get him back to do more with it. But
I'm gonna give our mummy review a run for its money.
I know.
That freaking mummy video.
People love that mummy review that we did. That thing's got like close to 120,000 views and everything. So
it's still going. That's crazy.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind even talking a little bit more about the mummy and everything. Just recently on one of my other favorite podcasts, Pod Stallions, that features Jason Lindsay and Brian Heiler. Hi, guys. They just did a retrospective thing talking about the mummy. They didn't have a whole lot good to say about the Brendan Fraser mummy series and stuff, but it gave me some ideas and things I wanted to talk about to maybe do a revisit of the mummy topic and talk about some different things having to do with it that I thought was interesting. So for you mummy fans out there, we might have more content coming up. What are you oohing at?
Carrie, back to Carrie says new to the show, so I don't know what you've done before, but you could do a favorite canceled too soon sci-fi shows.
Oh, such as Firefly. Anybody?
I've never seen that.
I've seen bits of it. Yeah. Man, that is a good topic because there's a bunch of shows that I guess like I would consider this a form of sci-fi. I don't know what you would even call this show, sci-fi, horror, fantasy, kind of weird things. But one of my all-time favorites that only got 2 seasons, and I just was so wrapped up in it, was the series Carnival. And man, I mean, that's just such a cool, weird show that obviously it doesn't take place in space, but it's still got a weird sci-fi element to it. Fantastical, good versus evil kind of element to it. That one, man, I wish they would wrap that up, even if they just made a movie or something,
We'll save it because we got a Javier Seconds.
Yeah.
Cancel too soon.
Yeah.
We have to make that happen.
There's a lot of cool stuff to talk about there. So that's good one, Carrie Ann. That's a good topic.
Yeah. And then we got, will you do more paranormal videos?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We really enjoyed the talk we had last month because of course you had a pertinent topic to talk about, having gone and visited,
and done a ghost hunt,
the ghost hunt thing and everything. But I don't think that's going to be the last time we delve into that kind of stuff, just because we find it interesting. And again, like we said before, we're not believers, but we're not non-believers. We're just sort of like,
that's weird.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I definitely think we'll get more into that soon.
Yeah, so. Depends on how it works. We'll probably get Vito to come on board for those.
Absolutely. Kind of I would love to. Speaking of love to, real quick, if you guys don't mind, I got a couple things.
Yeah, because I said I was going to cut him off in an hour, guys. So he wanted to do some box opening.
Well, yeah, I've got some interesting stuff. This was one. I got to see if I can open this. And I know that there might be, especially later, I know a couple of people I talked to were interested in seeing my toy stuff. But I've got some things I want to open. This one, if I'm correct, is kind of interesting because it's not something you can just buy at a store. Yeah. So speaking of monsters and everything and paranormal, so I've talked about it before. Anybody that ever watches my videos, I do the Geeking Toyetic stuff, knows that I'm into the monster toys, like classic monster toys. Again, I'm not that much into modern horror zombie and super gore stuff.
Mm.
I love Universal monsters, Frankenstein, Dracula, Wolfman, Mummy. I love Hammer horror from Britain from the 60s and 70s, all that kind of stuff. Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing and those guys. And when I was growing up, I loved the monster toys, and some of them are like really rare to get. And I saw that there's a guy online that he's doing like a little independent company making some cool knockoff, basically. They call it in the business, they're knockoff toys, meaning they're not legit, they don't get the license. But this is based on some of the knockoff monster toys from the 1970s and these creepy classics. Glow in the dark.
Because he looks like he glows in the dark.
He does. He glows in the dark. Yeah, I wish I should turn the lights off so you'd end up being able to see it. But glow in the dark. It's the wily Wolfman. So look at this. I know it's glary there and everything, but let's see. Yeah,
there you go.
See, so he's like this goofy looking Wolfman guy. He's got a glow in the dark face and hands. And they had toys like this, like the Mad Monster figures that Mego put out in the 70s had glow in the dark hands and feet. Those figures are, to varying degrees, very hard to get, especially when you get into the other companies like Azrak Hamway and Lincoln. Lincoln Company used to make some monsters, and I think this is kind of more similar to that in a way. But I saw that this guy was doing it. Yeah, it says, harkening back to knockoff toys sold in the 60s and 70s. Plastic Zombie, that's the name of the company this guy has. Plastic Zombie proudly presents our creepy classic line of 8-inch action figures. Yeah, based on Lincoln, HI, Remco, Tomland. There was all these companies that, for some of you, if you're old enough like me or older, you remember the places like Ben Franklin and all the like 5 and dime stores and stuff, and you would be able to find these things for like $1. Sometimes they'd be on a backing card with a plastic hard bubble, or they'd come in bags like this. When I saw this guy was making this, and this wasn't that expensive, I think I paid $20, something like that for it, $25 maybe. It wasn't very much. I said, okay, I gotta try this, because I believe this is his first release that he came out with.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, so it's plasticzombietoys.com. It's all one thing and everything. So anybody that's interested, if you want to know more about this, anybody out there that's interested, or you have friends that are interested about it, go into the Geeking Squad group, our group on Facebook, and I'll share more info about it. It's cool. It came with a sticker and a cool little button that says, "Thank you for being one of our first 50 customers."
Oh, that's sweet.
That's super. Dave and Jason from Plastic Zombie Toys, man. That's a nice touch. Super duper cool. I love buttons. You know me, I always have buttons on my jackets and stuff. I love old school buttons. This figure is really cool. I'm not going to open them on one of those. Well, just because, the packaging is like super cool on this. Crinkly. Sorry for everybody that's like, it's so loud. But I really wanted to open that one on camera because of that. And I will be talking more about this and other toys that I've got lined up for it. I've got so many things I could open. I may end up doing a separate video later, because I don't want everybody to have to sit through me opening all these. But
I'm cutting you off in about 3 minutes.
Yeah, I know. Is there anything else that we need to talk about and cover? We've talked quite a bit.
Yeah, you guys have been great. This has been awesome.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed this.
We've got
all for joining us. 13. We're up to 13.
That's killer.
Yeah.
I totally co-host the Ghost Hunt shows. I have a lot of stories. Actually,
she does. Yeah.
She does. Yeah. Matt told me about quite a bit of that, and everything is very interesting. So we will, I'm sure, especially as we get more people involved and everything in the show, it does help open up avenues for it. Mm-hmm. But also, getting back real quick, because I mentioned like the music stuff. Are you guys interested in seeing the music stuff? Do you think you'd be interested in hearing the two of us and other people talk about music?
Triple T Arms made a comment a while back.
Yeah.
About, I think you guys could mirror a great music channel like Sea of Tranquility.
Sea of Tranquility. Oh, yeah. I watch that channel.
Yeah. great channel and music community. So
right. I've wanted to get involved in that. Like I said, I know so many people that are involved in it in the music podcasting community and stuff. I mean, great friends, Ken Mills, my good buddy, love you, Ken, and Matt Porter, all these different people, like guys that are involved with like the Kiss podcast and Cheap Trick and the Monkees and Kerry Gordon and Kim, with they're in the Monkees stuff and everything. And yeah, I really, really want to get more into the music stuff. It seems silly that I don't talk about music, and
it is silly.
And you too. I mean, you've got a lot of interests and everything, and you help bring in some different perspectives. Because like we both like country, but I'm more like older.
You're old country.
Yeah, I like everything going all the way back to old bluegrass country and stuff, and I love all that kind of stuff. And
more
then
80s, 90s, and up.
And yeah, we kind of cross over with the 80s because I like 80s country. But then you're more like 90s, and you start getting into all that, and kind of have exposed me a little bit more to some of the 90s stuff. Up, down. Here we go, up, down. That's newer.
Yeah, looks. We got 3. We got a yes, hell yeah, and a yes. We got a classic. I can't even say it, classic rock fan.
Yep, Southern rock. Yep. I love Southern rock.
How about retro video game?
Oh man, I would love to. You're talking to Mr. Retro Video Game guy here. Like Atari. I mean, I know a lot about it. You know what I mean? I've read so much. I've been just such a deep fan of like old Atari and television, ColecoVision, early Nintendo. I'm pretty well versed in video game stuff from 70s Pong and all that stuff, all the way up through like Sega Genesis. After that, it's when it was more Vito was like the guy that was Vito, all later stuff and everything. And then I like PlayStation, I like Xbox and stuff to a degree, but I'm not as well versed in all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, and then there's things like Commodore, 64. There's cool stuff with that. Man, I'd love to do more stuff with retro video games. So again, the main thing about this kind of stuff I just want to say before we go is that I know most of you probably already are, but if you're not, the main thing is we want more interaction with you guys. Like, don't be afraid to post in the Geeking Squad group on Facebook. Put posts in there like, we want suggestions. Like, don't feel like you're being forceful or you're being like, we don't want to tell them what to do. No, tell us. Like, we
want to know what you guys want to see.
We want to know, yeah.
Especially if we like it too.
Yeah, and if it's something we like and we want to do, like I said, you mentioned things like retro video games. I'm just like, oh, awesome. Like, I would love to do that. But it helps to know you guys want it, because again, there's so many things we started working on, and then we were like, maybe we shouldn't bother with this, or isn't turning out, or is anybody going to care about this?
Yeah. Any old segments you guys miss that?
Yeah, we've already had some
away from.
Yeah, we've had some suggestions. So please, and we'll keep doing more of these.
Yeah, this is a lot of fun. We need to keep doing these.
The live stream stuff, we'll do more of these more frequently because we love the interaction, and that was the whole thing we want to do. Is we want to interact more. That's why we made the Geeking Squad group, which has been great.
Yeah, that took off like a bat out of hell.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
Yeah, exactly. It's nice to have a place where it's just geeky talk, free from all the other. We've got Facebook and all those other things to talk about every other thing that's going on in the world out there. We have enough of that. We just needed like a nice spot where we could just all openly be nerds, and go, hey, there's no room for anybody to get picked on in here just because you happen to be like me and think that the 1980 Flash Gordon movie is like the greatest movie ever made. And hey,
I can still roll my eyes.
Yeah. Well, okay.
It's a fun movie.
Okay, Quigley Down Under.
Hey,
hey
now.
See?
Easy.
We all have them. We've got them. We all got them. But yeah, we should probably get out of here because this has been going on.
Yeah, I'm going to stab you.
Oh, well, don't.
Getting to be where I'm going to stab you if you don't knock it off.
See, I can't. Who let you have sharp objects?
Who left them here?
I did it because I needed to open the box.
That's your fault, not mine.
Give me the scissors.
No?
Just give me the scissors.
I got them.
Just it's well, if you don't hear from me anymore, you're gonna know why. So I'm not gonna make fun of Quigley anymore. So
right, seriously, you should know better.
No bagging on your Tom Selleck, that's for sure.
Don't you dare.
Yeah. But all right, thank you so much, everybody, for joining us here. And like I said, this will all be for those that came in halfway through or you didn't get to see the whole thing. This will be uploaded onto the YouTube channel to watch later. Obviously, we won't be responding to it in real time, but by all means, if you have any more comments you want to make about anything we talked about on here, please let us know. Yeah, exactly. And we'll be back. And if there's anything you want us to do specifically for live streams, and stuff. If you're like, next time you guys do a live stream, you should feature this or you should talk about that.
This is how we should do some of our, we were talking about doing like board game play. Like we'll play a game and talk to you guys while we do it.
Yeah. Because we've
watched me whoop his ass doing that too.
Yeah. We've been wanting to do board geeks for a while where we just picked all different kinds of board games and we talk about, because you and I are both big fans of Clue.
Love Clue.
And all sorts of different games. So anyway, let us know what you would like to see on future live stream episodes. And
keep an eye out for Quentin Tarantino coming out next week. This week.
This week, it'll be coming out probably on Wednesday. So what is Wednesday? Is that the 1st? I think that's the 1st.
All right, December 1st.
December 1st, I believe we will get the Quentin Tarantino top 5 and retrospective with Gary Naples.
Yep.
Out there, and then we'll be shortly after that we'll announce the next top 5 and Matt is the special guest on that and everything and what that's going to entail. That one's going to be a lot of fun. We're already brainstorming that one. So thank you so much, everybody, and everybody enjoy the rest of their weekend. Be safe and go watch or listen or read something geeky now because we set you up for it.
Yes.
Bye
guys.
See you later.
You.